Embraer's Praetor 600 is the Brazilian company's current flagship business jet, itself an evolution of the legacy 500. The $21 million super-midsize aircraft offers performance and range improvements over its predecessor, thanks to added fuel capacity, new winglets, and more powerful engines. With a range of 4,018 nautical miles, passengers will appreciate the new interior design, which the company calls Bossa Nova, and takes inspiration from the boardwalk at Rio de Janeiro's famed Ipanema Beach.
Well, welcome to Embraer Executive Jets Praetor 600. We're going to help you understand a little bit more about why the name Praetor is so important because of really what it does for its owners, this aircraft, and also the cabin, why it's comfortable. What are the benefits of having an aircraft like this, and what would the experience be like? So we're going to take you through that now. So let's talk for a minute about the name Praetor and why it is so appropriate for this airplane. The original Praetor in Rome was a magistrate, a leader. He took care of everything the emperor needed. And in that sense, this aircraft is also that ultimate servant to its owners and those who buy this airplane. There's some things that appear and come to you without having to ask for it, in the sense of navigational information on the tech panels, for instance. How is the aircraft serving you? Well, instead of having to turn on moving map and the displays to see where you are in flight, at a glance you can see it above a passenger's head or above your own seated space. As well as when you reach up to touch the screen, that Praetor or that servant brings buttons to you to turn on reading light and cabin light controls. And then the switches disappear when you're not activating them any further. So the airplane is, in a sense, serving you without you having to ask for it. Another servitude, so to speak, is that of pleasing you and pleasing your eyes. The craftsmanship, the experience, the feel, the touch. If it looks like metal, it should be cold. If it looks like glass, it should be cold, not warm. And so those haptic feedbacks and those touch points where it feels like it is real material, it's not something synthesized. And how the parts come together. In this airplane, we deliberately put the metal accent rings and the cup holders underneath the veneer or the wood, rather than on top. And that little change allows a perception of thickness and quality and craftsmanship, assembled parts that are interesting. How did they do it? You start asking those questions as you're sitting in this airplane for 8 hours or more. And during those long flights, you'll have situations where you may want to move to a different part of the cabin. And for instance, if a chair won't rotate fully around because you want to speak to somebody who's in the back, you end up having to move your position. But instead, our aircraft allows adjustment to seats in full 360, 180-degree angles so that you can actually interact with everybody in the aircraft at any position in the airplane. And that's one of the beautiful things about our seats and them being able to move around as much as they do. A very important thing to remember, too, in an aircraft, should you have one or experience one like this, is when you're sleeping, you like not to be disrupted. And so with the Praetor 500 and 600, we have fly-by-wire, which basically means the brains of the cockpit are synthesizing the digital code to get rid of all the little steps in flight that might cause disruption. So this fighter jet-like side stick, fly-by-wire, provides superior comfort and experience in the back in the cabin here, because the aircraft, again, is serving through all those rough moments on its own without the pilots having to counteract or the passengers feel it. So what I'd like to show you is how easy it is to set up a sleeping arena in this aircraft. So now you have one of the longest sleeping surfaces in a private jet. In regard to craftsmanship, in that realm of all things put together perfectly, is the wow moments. For instance, on our divan, the lid slides rearward, but you never see the attachments or the slides. You're not looking at how the lid works, but it's doing it. And customers and owners really appreciate that, because it shows the engineering and design teams have gone out of their way to treat you to the ultimate tactile experience and elegant function of the systems in the aircraft. Let's talk again about comfort and adaptability. We showed how the chairs can adapt to conversation spaces or different use conditions inside the airplane. But how about the divan? Often the divan or couch location in a private jet is the least desirable because many times they're built poorly, very straight and flat, and it's not comfortable to sit in. So we thought about that with our divan to the point where we have 105-degree back angle comfort positions, as well as when the cushions come out for the sleeping situation, they go flat. So you have an angled surface to sit in, which is comfortable, and then you have a flat surface to sleep on. And I'll show you how that works. Each divan cushion has multiple stages of deployment or full out. And when it's in the full out position, the backrest fills the void, and you do that 3 times. Or somebody wants to lounge and somebody else wants to sit. So you can have different locked seat positions for leg length. If you're a taller person, your knees are further forward. Now let's make it a full bed. So with the bed in this position, you can lay a duvet cover on it, sheets, pillows, and add whatever makes you comfortable. Another sterling example of why this aircraft is appropriately named as the Praetor is that it really does it all, including the ultimate cabin comfort, quiet, cabin pressure, all of it. But for instance, many aircraft will have an emergency exit in the main cabin area. We don't have that. The benefit of not having the exit here, but rather in the lavatory behind the toilet area, is that in the cabin you have a quieter space, better temperature control. And when you have seating next to an emergency exit, it limits the operation of those chairs or of those seats. Sometimes they won't rotate or swivel, or the table that you would want to eat on when deployed is very small. So not having an exit in the cabin is a game changer for this segment. And we're very, very proud of our engineers and aerodynamicists that helped make this happen, with the lavatory being the place where the emergency exit resides. The lavatory also is a nice example of ergonomic adaptability. The mirror over the vanity can be adjusted to your height, so you can look at yourself instead of having to crouch down, because as a fuselage arcs toward the outside, things have to go lower. So that we made sure that was easy and beneficial for the occupants. So we'll take you now through some of the features of the galley, the area where you would wash and cook and prepare meals. The Praetor 600 has a fantastic galley with a wet sink, which means full sink capability, drainage as well, ice storage, pop-out work surfaces, wine storage drawers for bottles of wine, as well as additional silver cutlery storage, or it could be additional wine bottle storage. Fold down glass storage upper and lower. That can also be staged as a working surface as well. So should you be working on the 2 different levels, you can adjust how you use that space with the glassware. Full microwave and convection oven here in this area. On this side, we have a full-size closet that also serves as a side-facing flight attendant seat if you'd like to take the shelves out. So if you have the need for extra service in the aircraft, you have a seat for the individual, as well as storage when needed as well.
Embraer offers options for the Praetor 600 to configure it with dual divans or a set of 8 club seats. The customer can also select a variety of materials, colors, and seat styles to design an interior that suits their individual preferences.